even a knife, not even a box cutter, not even a gun, nothing. Now in my hand, I have 3 affidavits which I'm going to pass out to the media. They've been redacted for privacy of the people. These are eyewitnesses who were on the road that day in front of the action and saw what happened. 2 of whom haven't been interviewed till this day by the so-called task force. Now, hopefully they've been interviewed as of today, but as of the time last week we got these affidavits, nobody's talked to them. And we found out from 2 of these witnesses that they were told to keep going by the police officers. That's not how you conduct a preliminary investigation. That's not how you secure a scene. Now I'm releasing this as an example of how to be transparent. This affidavits definitely help my client's situation because they say the truth as to what happened and what we all know happened. But I'm not hiding them from the public. I'm not hiding them in my office. I'm not hiding them in my case file. I'm releasing them. And I'm redacting them for sensitivity reasons and privacy reasons, which the Integrity Task Force can do. And I would encourage the task force to actually go out and interview people who were there. Maybe put out a bulletin asking for motorists that were on the road who saw this. And one of these affidavits basically says the police officer shot his weapon in front of 2 other officers who were also there. So not only from what these affidavits are saying, were 2 other officers at risk, but members of the public. And we all know they were at risk. You don't go around shooting in front of other motorists while trying to arrest a fleeing suspect that is unarmed. That's the definition, textbook definition of excessive force. So we're asking and we're appealing to the task force to release their documents in terms of what's going on with the investigation. And there are red light cameras out there on the scene. Release the videos, if there are any. I'm sure there's a camera that captures what happened, that can corroborate what these witnesses are saying. But essentially, these witnesses are saying that the police officer shot this man, this young man, in the back. And he was unarmed, which we already knew. And he was running away. You can't get mad at a suspect and shoot them in the back. This is the United States of America. Now, I grew up in a military country back in the 90s. And this is the kind of stuff we saw happen back then. This is kind of stuff you would see American diplomats say, this is not the rule of law. Why is it happening here? Why are police officers shooting people in the back when they're unarmed? So we want answers. I'm going to be releasing this to the media. And I would hope at this point in time, if I with my limited resources, was able to get these affidavits and get them out to the public, I would hope the task force, with their own resources, which have to be greater than mine, can do the same thing too. And there's no harm done. Now, nobody's saying this officer, nobody's implying anything with this officer. What we're asking for is for transparency. We want to see the records. We want to see the video. And I can say right now, based on the affidavits we're watching and we're looking at, and you're going to see, it's not looking very good in terms of what happened. This was injustice. This is wrong. And there has to be accountability. There has to be transparency. Otherwise, it's justice delayed. And that's not justice. So we're asking for the task force to come out with their report. They can redact the names and tell us exactly what's really going on. Why is this investigation taking so long? We already have the foundations for a proper investigation. The man was unarmed and he was running away. And the forensic evidence from the hospital shows he was shot in the back. What else are you investigating? Talk to motorists, find out what happened, release the reports. It's not hard, I did it. So we're tired. I think just talking to the family, Rebecca is tired. And there has to be, at some point, there has to be transparency. And this is the type of stuff that happens that makes people get suspicious. Because what Rebecca told me is that she's expecting the task force to release a report clearing the officer of any wrongdoing. And the members of the public shouldn't be expecting that. They should be expecting for fairness. for justice. And Rebecca, you want to say?
I just ask if anybody was on the scene that day and has not came forward and knows what happened and seen it, that you just come forward to help the process along so that we can get the answers that we're looking for. So if you were there and you've seen what happened, I ask that you just come forward and tell your side of the story.
And I'll make one more plea to the task force. It's sad that I have to do this, but I'm going to. You know, Rebecca has called the task force. They gave her a card to call, and each time she calls, she gets no updates. You get any updates from them? That's not how to conduct an investigation. That's not telling the victims you care. She's not getting any updates. Not only that, they're not even calling her for updates. Why should she be the one calling them? At least once a week, members of the task force call Rebecca. Do your job, call her. It's wrong. It's not right. That's not how to conduct an investigation. I used to be a prosecutor. This is not how an investigation should be conducted, especially one of this sensitive nature. So we're asking them to do the job and do it thoroughly and call her. And if they haven't interviewed these witnesses, they can reach out to me and I can make these witnesses accessible to them so they can interview them and conduct a proper investigation. Because I am thoroughly disappointed that 2 of these witnesses have not been interviewed by the police department or the task force. What are they doing? And I hope they've not completed the investigation. If they have, they better go back and amend it. So we want to see the reports. We want to see statements from the officers that were there on scene. Rebecca is not trying to rush to judgment about this officer. She's not trying to rush to judgment about anyone. She just wants answers, and that's why we're here today. We just want transparency. And with that, we'll end this process. Thank you.